Lovers of the association. This is your guy Marcellus Ease, and we cannot count the Dallas Mavericks out quite yet because the Mavs still have a very interesting roster constructed around Anthony Davis and Kyrie Irving, which should put them in a good position to compete. As long as they stay healthy and have a little bit of luck on their side, this could be a good recipe to avoid things from going left. But in this segment right here, we'll check out Anthony Davis's offense. Will he go back to his old face-up game similar to what he was doing in New Orleans? Hell, we might get Pelicans Davis. Sprinkle in that pick and roll with Kyrie Irving. It might be the secret sauce right there. And with the Mavs having two centers that were quite productive and contributing to that NBA Finals run from last season, how is AD going to perform along those two bigs in Derek Lively and Daniel Gafford? But hey, I'm not going to say no more. Let's just get to it.
This is a newspaper, right? It's 90% bullshit, but it's entertaining. That's why I read it, because it entertains me. You won't let me read it, so you entertain me with your bullshit. Tell me a story right now. Go.
I'll go right.
Now, I know the Dallas Mavericks fans are heartbroken ever since this trade. But one thing they never really talk about is this pick and roll with Kyrie and AD. Just the Mavericks having all these ball handlers on the outside. You got PJ, you got Klay Thompson. He's serviceable with that, but he got a deadly three-point shot. But they have a lot of guys who can just handle the rock and attack. And also at the same time, of course, Kyrie, he could pull up, he could finish with the left, right hand. I mean, he could do it all. And then you have AD on the roll. And you're seeing it's already compromising the Houston Rockets, a team this season that has had a top 3 defense and has given the Mavericks in their last few matchups quite some issues. But just having a mobile and versatile big like AD, it's going to change a lot of things. So right here, once again, we're going to get pick and roll up top against Amen Thompson, who has been a pest all season long. A really high ball screen for Kyrie to attack Şengün going downhill possibly. But we might get some New Orleans AD right here. Look at him with the face-up game. Woo, okay. It's not normal for AD to be knocking down those type of shots consistently, but hey, who knows? He might be a new man down there in Dallas. Here's some more pick and roll between AD and Kai. And with Davis, as I stated before earlier in the segment, his face-up game is not as consistent all the time. Now, of course, he's still working out his chemistry with Kyrie Irving. But, again, his face-up game is not really spot on like that. But when he's on, he's on. But plays like this make you wonder if AD can work more on his pop-out game and make his threes more consistently. Or even his jump shots. Maybe he could attack the empty side a lot harder. Who knows, but it's going to require him to be a more consistent jump shooter. You see, against quick defenders, AD tends to be more dependent on someone like Kyrie to get him the ball in his spots. The Houston Rockets do have a lot of guys that kind of fit that profile with Tari Eason and also Amen Thompson. But right there on that exact play, you saw AD with the quick closeout by Steven Adams. He struggled to finish on his face-up. Again, this Houston Rockets team is perfect to see AD's face-up game, to test it against these speedy defenders. You have Eason right here. You have Amen Thompson on the help. Also D-Book. And Şengün isn't bad on AD as far as his defense right here, as he draws the foul. But with AD, when was the last time we really seen him in this position where he can just basically work from almost the inside going out? Now he can run the offense, dish the ball out to his shooters. It's sort of like the Mavericks began to go back to the old school where they're working the game from the inside going out. See, could AD really make these passes, you know, over time and over this 82 game grueling schedule? But Luka, on the other hand, he kind of started working the game from the outside going in. Whether him coming off a pick and roll and then just passing to someone on the alley, everything was from the outside going in. But now with AD, the Mavs have returned to the old school. See, with the Mavericks giving up on Luka, it was just a little bit more than just giving up a global superstar to the Lakers. They also gave up on having a modern offense and just having a modern team. They still have the shooters, but now with AD, they're going to have to kind of take it a little bit old school with AD, PJ, Gafford, and Lively all on this squad. And how is it going to look like with AD and Lively on the floor with Kyrie running pick and roll? Or in vice versa, you could say Gafford and AD with Kyrie running pick and roll off of each of them. These are sort of the questions that got kind of looked over with the Luka trade, or fiasco, as I should say. But AD in his first game, he showed out. Interesting kind of play ran right here. Gafford pick and roll with AD. Very interesting. A step back three. Woo. If AD's knocking down shit like that, hey, this move to Dallas is going to be looking a lot different. It's something about guys when they don't play with LeBron. Look at AD handling the ball from this far up and just decides to pull up. Okay, AD, we see you. This could be something a lot different than we could expect. You know, guys always looking a lot more freer once they, no longer in the presence of LeBron James. It's funny how that works. We see players almost look rejuvenated. They have more freedom as far as what they can do on the floor because they don't really have to deal with LeBron bringing the ball up all the time, and they have to guess, when they're going to actually get the rock because they're waiting for him to penetrate or just run pick and roll and just stand on the side while just being left to being a three-point shooter. That's how it really tends to work out some of the time. But AD, man, I ain't gonna lie, he's looking more free. AD definitely having more ball handling up to him. See right here, is he consistent enough to make these kinds of shots? Especially with, this Houston Rockets defense, which has been very speedy and very efficient this season thus far. But can AD be consistent enough in these type of shots? And also, is he able to actually spot out the open guys? Can he actually shoot Kyrie open right here? Let's say he goes up for the shot and then last second he dings it off. A lot comes with that freedom of just being that focal guy again. He's almost going to be regulated to that Bam Adebayo role, where his decision making is going to have to be key to get his teammates going. Kyrie isn't necessarily the pass first guy. So that's why I say AD might be in that Bam Adebayo role, coming off of pick and roll, let's say with Kyrie. And then if he's around the high post area, could he make good enough decisions like Bam? Either kick out or just be consistent enough on the jumpers. Makes you wonder if AD has any more Pelican AD left in him, where the whole team's offensive flow runs through him and his decision making. But one thing I will say for the time being, AD has taken away the Houston Rockets advantage on defense, because now he's a complete mismatch for this whole team. They don't really have an answer for him. Amen Thompson has been causing problems all season long, but as you can see from here, AD is a much larger player and he's much more skilled. So he takes away this versatile defender that Houston has been tossing towards a lot of offenses this season. And also Eason. AD is still too big for Eason. And the Mavericks better watch out, because Houston is looking like eventually they're going to be a thorn on their side. How often AD can knock these down? That was a tough shot, but if that goes down at a high enough percentage, this trade could be looking a lot different, because this Mavericks team is already set up to go on a championship run. Now, even though the Mavs have lost one of the best perimeter players, they have gained one of the best front court defenders. As Şengün put on the post moves, and look how AD just bothers him. Even though he caught him on that gather step, it still was enough for AD to still be a pest and get in his way. And this is going to be crucial defending guys like Jokic in this Western Conference. So the Mavs have upgraded to one of the best rim protecting forwards in the league. Very versatile and very mobile. So AD does give him an option for when they go up against guys like Chet, Wemby, and Rudy Gobert. And I throw Zach Edey in there for honorable mention. And on defense for the Mavs, things get real interesting. Right here, Şengün with a real high screen. And look at Gafford. They're picking at Gafford right here, but look who's the backup. See with AD there, Dallas still has good rim protection down low. And it's going to work vice versa. Same thing. If AD got pulled out here, they got Gafford down low to give him that rim protection. Same thing for Derek Lively. Now right here, we're going to see the complete opposite. AD dragged out. And now we're taking a look at the back line. Najee Marshall, he's lacking right now. He's lacking. He's going to get beat. It's a major difference when AD's out there alone as the only big versus when he's out there with Gafford as a backup. The communication between Najee Marshall and Dante Exum is not on point. And it makes you wonder, had Daniel Gafford been on the floor with Anthony Davis at the same time, would the Rockets have had easy access to the rim like this? Same thing would apply for Derek Lively. Again, we're looking at how teams manage when the Mavericks have two bigs on the floor. So Gafford, he's dragged into this pick and roll. And of course, Anthony Edwards is backup. And the same thing would happen vice versa. But teams will be on the fence about this. As you can see, AD is right there as a backup. And Gafford is there for the block. It's going to be quite intimidating for some teams. And this is the upgrade that they got in the interior that no one's really talking about. Of course, the Luka trade is very unexpected. It is a blow to the franchise and their relevancy in today's NBA landscape. But who knows? It wouldn't shock any of us all if this trade ends up working out in the Mavs' favor, based off of some of the, tall tale signs that we've seen from Luka as far as him being in top physical shape and the way he's been very injury prone this season. But at the end of the day, the pick and roll between Kyrie and AD is going to be undeniable to see how that works out, and also the versatility that AD does bring to this Mavericks defense. And they have a lot of ball handlers, man. A lot of guys who can create for their own. They got Christie coming off the bench and the defense that he brings to this team. Again, they're built to make a long playoff push. And with a little bit of luck, a little bit of health on their side, the Mavs could get far in this. But it is what it is. Right now, the water's a little bit muddy because, Luka making his exit. But you got to see the forest through the trees. So until next time, you fellas stay safe. Peace.